So how'd we get here? Plenty of groups have la la la's in their songs, but none have made it so close to their core identity as tripleS. Look at the comment section of any of their 4 title tracks with the motif. You'll see people talking about how the sound in the group are inseparable. The girls themselves acknowledge it. Every band has a musical style, but for tripleS, their identity is one magic syllable, repeated over and over. It begs the question, why? Well, I'm gonna show you that today, and how the la la la's aren't just a meme in the community or a catchy sound, but the very backing fabric of tripleS's concepts and message. Let's get started by going all the way back to the very beginning. 'Twas summer 2022, when all through the tripleS house, not a creature was stirring, not even Jiu. The first tripleS subunit debuts were coming up, and creative director and CEO of Modhouse, Jaden Jung, knew he needed a hit to give the group momentum. So the company contacted well-known hit-making production studio, Vendors. Vendors was founded back in 2018 by 3 boy group members, 2 from the boy group History, who now go by the names El Captain and Nano, and 1 from Hotshot, who's now known as Polar. It's a studio that by 2022 had developed several notable songs already, some being B-sides for large groups like 101, TXT, and EXO. Vendors is a bit of an unusual studio, being created and directed by ex-idols and assisted by people from all over the globe with diverse skill sets. They pride themselves on the variety of sounds they produce to try and fit each group's image and vocal range. Here's just a few examples. So Jaden Jung reached out to Vendors and explained his vision for the song, and they got quick to work. Now, lucky for us, we actually get a fairly in-depth glance at the production of Generation, thanks to an interview and demonstration on the Briss Life channel. Check out that video for the full explanation, but I'll just be focusing on the origin of the La 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 melody. We learned that the iconic La 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 was actually the very first part of the song created. The melody spontaneously came to mind, loosely inspired by Korean trot music. The laws became the backbone in which the rest of the song was built around: chords, drum, bass, etc. Jaden Jung then added the lyrics, and the thematic and melodic masterpiece Generation was born. As of now, we don't know the exact directions that Jaden gave Vendors, but we do know that the La 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 melody was born in a stroke of genius from them, and evidently fit Jaden's vision. The composition became the ever-influential debut song of Acid Angel from Asia, tripleS's first subunit, and it was a hit. tripleS fans, still unnamed at the time, rejoiced. The song, funky, trendy, and unimaginably catchy. The fandom, which for months had never had an official song release, suddenly had their long-anticipated first bop. Even back in November 2022, when I wasn't that familiar with tripleS, I was listening to Generation on repeat. Heck, I still listen to it almost daily. I love this song. It remains their most viewed music video, and it's important we briefly talk about it. Generation shows girls rejecting stiff societal conventions and choosing to be themselves. Jaden Jung likes to put deep meaning and feelings into his projects and give them an element of reality. It's not just glamorous sets and stages. It's skipping school. It's walking down the street with your friends. It's cramming yourself into elevators that really shouldn't be holding that many people. And we see the girls choose to dance in this elevator, still high on the feeling, with La La La's creating an unstoppable surge of energy that seems to drown out all other distractions. It feels defiant, almost like how a kid might cover their ears and say La 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 when they don't want to hear something. Generation's La La La's are a similar drowning out of the world's noise, that instead of feeling childish, feels powerful, meaningful, and decisive. But still at this point in time, La 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 was not tripleS's signature sound. There was no pattern and no precedent for that to be the case, which is where the second song comes in. Now, one might think based on the relative success of Generation, Madhouse planned to release a spiritual successor next. However, due to the scheduled Grand Gravity for the full group unit in December, and already set debut of the second subunit, crystalLIZE, the next year, that was impossible. The Grand Gravity, for those not in the know, was essentially a tournament bracket of songs that was completely controlled by the fans on the Como app. The fans got full say in what Assemble, the name of the first full group unit, debuted with. With 8 songs to choose from, the competition seemed stiff, but one song proved itself as a standout. People praised the unique melodicism in the powerful instrumental. And at this time, we got our first glimpses into those committing to the la 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 trend, with comments like, "Let's keep the la la la's going," or "Return of the iconic la la la." Inversely, however, there was a non-insignificant portion of the fanbase who vehemently disagreed. They were worried that the song would be too similar to Generation, and would ultimately hurt the group and its discography. Now, interestingly, this song was not produced by vendors, but by Monotree and Artronic Waves, who have worked on several Luna songs before. It's possible the song had la la la's in it by coincidence, or they were added in response to the success of Generation. But it's clear this was not supposed to be the spiritual successor to Generation quite yet. In the end, the enthusiasm for the song won over, and it was decided by the fans as the title track for Assemble. And it released. Now, I would argue this was the moment that tripleS's musical identity was really solidified. The group had a full chance to pivot from the more cool, stylish concept of Generation into something cuter or ethereal or poppy. But the second title track of the group also contained powerful and stylish theming. Complementing the distinct la la la's in the intro was an energetic dance track with lyrics centered around standing up for yourself and rising past obstacles that stand in your path. The la la la's started to become emblematic of the tripleS vibe itself, a vocalization of powerful defiance to conventions, and living your life in a way true to your heart. Now, with a group this large, and supposedly of all possibilities, Madhouse knew that further pigeonholing themselves into just one theme would go against their concept. The original plans for units with different themes was still set, which led to Cherry Talk in May from the third subunit, crystalLIZE. It was a cuter concept, which while relevant to the themes of Generation, with its emphasis on the digital world, marked a very different sound. While the song wasn't quite as large of a hit as Generation or Rising, it's still considered a bop by many Waves, who by now had finally voted for their fandom name. Now, 2 is a coincidence, but 3 is a pattern, and in the time between Rising and Cherry Talk, discussions for a successor to Generation were underway. There was no grand gravity for the songs given to tripleS Evolution and Lovelution, the next 2 subunits. They were deliberately chosen by Madhouse, and this meant that it was the perfect time to arrange for the successor of Generation to come out, with a subunit that fit it. But how could it be iterated? Many lauded the song as the pinnacle of its sound already. Well, Jaden and vendors were hard at work, and managed to craft a song with everything that made Generation special, with a brand new shiny melody, instrumental, and concept. Introducing Girls' Capitalism. Girls' Capitalism takes the confidence-boosting rhythm and vibe of the first 2 La 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 songs, but takes it to 100 with a more self-indulgent twist. The lyrics are similar to before in that they talk about the digital world, but are now embedded with the concept of loving yourself, taking pride in who you are, and basking in the excitement for who you'll become. The members belt out fierce la la la's in the chorus to a joyful and funky dance tune, embodying the confidence and message of the song all the way through. It was clear to everyone at this point, the 16 members included, that la la la's were officially a tripleS thing. The warm reception towards this release had proven that the Generation formula could be made fresh again, and Waves could enjoy it just as much as before. The group's signature sound was born from lightning in a bottle, and it was being used to its fullest potential. But one song was to embody the power of the La 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 motif better than all that had been seen before. In February 2024, right before the final 4 members were revealed, the full 24-member debut Grand Gravity was announced. Now, Jaden knew it would be a shame to not have a single La 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 in the bracket. So once again, he and vendors had been hard at work, creating a song that would use the motif in a brand new way. And lo and behold, song A, called Girls Never Die, sounded like this. It was a close battle, but after a fierce competition, song A managed to, who am I kidding? It was a complete landslide victory. No song even got close to song A. It well over quadrupled the second place's votes. If Wave's voice wasn't clear enough before, it was now. La 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 was the tripleS signature sound, and there was nothing better to debut the full 24 members with. The lengthy and atmospheric intro, with a cheering crowd in the background, framed the La La Las in an even cooler light than before. But there's one thing I think is important to note. The song wasn't the only La 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 type song in the Gravity. Maybe Modhouse wanted to give Wave some options because they were already resigned to the fact La 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 was going to win no matter what, but Song G, Recover It Now, had La La Las, and eventually became the B-side 24 on the album. Side note, it even just won the Gravity to get its own performance video, so even it couldn't be stopped. Song H, Soul Vice, has Na Na Nas, which I guess weren't close enough to La La Las for everyone. That being said, I'm really looking forward to when this song comes out, because I'm absolutely in love with it. But yes, Girls Never Die was victorious, and the tripleS members themselves approved. The girls and production team worked very hard, and the song eventually released on May 8th, 2024. And this time, the concept had a completely different vibe.
Let's go.
Whereas previous songs had all been upbeat, something about Girls Never Die was somber. The lyrics acknowledge hardships and weaknesses. Compounding this more is the music video. It shows the bodies of crows falling from the sky and alludes to homelessness, death, and suicide. Despite this, the signature lyric of 다시 해보자, or Let's Start Again, immediately gives away to a chorus of 24 La La Las in unison. The powerful chorus is interspersed with assuring, confident remarks. We're not going to give up this time. In the face of death, the group dances, rising up and touching the sky. The crows come back to life. The girls refuse to give up. They refuse to let their dreams die. This message has resonated to a viral degree with the Korean audience. Look at all the posts under the MV. People sharing their own personal hardships, supporting each other, relating and finding solace with others. The defiant La La Las have become something more. With the 24 voices of the members in unison, they've ascended just a catchy melody. They're a war cry, aimed at life's hardships and refusing to back down. This song is a perfect La 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 song. It takes what made Generation, Rising, and Girls' Capitalism so catchy and powerful, and integrates it into the core message and feeling of the song. The La 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 phenomenon hasn't just been established as the signature sound of tripleS, it's been perfected. It's bringing in new waves, comforting them, and showing them the way forward. And that's how tripleS became the queens of La La La. Hey, thanks for watching. That was quite a journey, wasn't it? To the waves watching, thanks for being such a welcoming fandom, and keeping the La 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 dream alive over the past couple years. And to the non-waves watching, what are you doing? You should go watch Badge War. The full group version just came out. Actually, I'm gonna go watch it right now. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe for more fun and insightful K-pop content, and I'll see you guys next time. Annyeong!